This is Our News, the weekend edition, and on the broadcast tonight, the Works Minister defends Roadworks happening here in the capital. Plus, weeks out from the start of the 2019 hurricane season, and meteorologists tell us what we can expect. And should Carnival be a private event? Band owners weigh in.
Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Good evening, I'm Andrew Knowles, and thanks so much for joining us. Topping news, Works Minister Desmond Bannister is defending the roadworks currently taking place on Milo Butler Highway. This, as he says, the Ministry of Works does all it can to ensure that roads are safe for the public. Our Gillian Gray has more.
Concerns about the structure of Milo Butler Highway led the Ministry of Works to dig up the road in order to repave it. Works Minister Desmond Bannister, while defending the move today, said it is important to ensure that all roads are safe.
That highway has one of the highest traffic counts of any road in this country. And if you go on that highway from 8 a.m. in the morning till about 10 a.m., you'll see a constant line of traffic. So it's incumbent upon us to ensure that that road is very, very safe for the driving public. When our engineers checked it, they were concerned about a number of factors. And so it was important for us to have it repaved. And it's easier to repave that than many other roads in New Providence because we don't have a lot of the strictures we have with pipes, etc., under the highway.
Work began on the busy highway about 2 weeks ago, and while Bannister could not give a timeline as to when the work would be complete, he said the road will be paved fairly quickly, as there are no utility companies that need to access the road. The Works Minister said it's often a hefty task coordinating work between the water, power, and cable companies, and that is usually the reason why roadworks are delayed. He added that the ministry is working to do a better job in that regard, so that once a road is paved, there is no need to dig it up in the future.
Under this administration, there's only one road I know that was paved twice. If some roads were paved under previous administration, then the challenge is that they did not meet with all the stakeholders before they paved the roads. And I have announced this several times in Parliament. I am not going to pave a road until I get the go-ahead from every single utility, because you saw the legislation that I introduced in Parliament. I'm very serious about that. If any of them go and dig up your roads, please call us and let us know, because once we pave those roads, we don't expect them to be dug up. And there's a $10,000 fine for them doing that.
Former Works Minister Philip Davis recently questioned why Milo Butler Highway was being paved, as he claims there are other roads that need attention. Bannister said every time they do roadworks, there is often criticism by the public.
Just for the record, every road we pave, we have kickbacks. When we pave Seabreeze, we had kickbacks. But look at it now. Everywhere we go, we're having challenges as people don't understand the importance of us making sure that the driving experience is safe, and that's what our job is.
The Works Minister said while some may say roadworks take too long, there is a method to their work, claiming roadwork specialists only have a small time period during the day to work with, and night work is out of the question as there is no budget for overtime pay.
Traffic management is involved in the process. They start work after the morning traffic has completed, so they won't start work until 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, and they'll finish around 3 o'clock in the afternoon so that you can have a comfortable ride at home, because you can't have them out there working, sacrificing their lives being on the road working and causing more congestion. So they work within a confined time period, and quite frankly, I don't have the kind of budget where every project I could have a team out there at night. There's some projects I have teams working at night, but I have to be conscious of the public purse.
Reporting for Our News Weekend, I'm Gillian Gray.
Though shying away from naming who took the post, Works Minister Desmond Bannister said the Chief Operating Officer position at Bahamas Power and Light has now been filled.
I think someone is acting in that pose, and I'm sure that BPL will announce that when the appropriate time.
Christina Alston abruptly resigned as BPL's COO last month, and the company has yet to name her successor. The resignation came months after the entire board of BPL was changed, which called into question their stability. Bannister said he's not concerned one bit, adding that he is looking forward to the work the COO will do.
I have no concerns. I think we have someone inside the organization who is very experienced and they can do a great job. I met with him yesterday, and he is an outstanding Bahamian who has worked in the Bahamas all his life and has much to contribute to BPL and to the Bahamian people.
From the crime beat, one man is in police custody as they investigate the sexual assault of a female tourist. Police say the woman was at a beach on Paradise Island shortly after 11 a.m. on Saturday when she was allegedly sexually assaulted by a 34-year-old Bahamian man. He was later taken into custody and assisting police with their investigation. Well, in less than 4 weeks, the 2019 Atlantic hurricane season is set to begin. And while weather experts are predicting a normal season, they also say a hotter than average winter could be the perfect recipe for a superstorm. Our Jasmine Brown has more in this report.
The Atlantic hurricane season is the peak period when potentially deadly tropical cyclones form in the Atlantic Ocean. In recent years, major storms have wreaked havoc in the Bahamas. Hurricanes such as Matthew and Joaquin and even Irma, which rendered Ragged Island uninhabitable, have been labeled as some of the most devastating storms to hit the country. While Chief Meteorologist Jeffrey Green says it's still too early to say if weather watchers can expect more of the same this season, he says the warm winter, which has created warmer waters, isn't exactly ideal.
Now that what we call extreme weather is becoming more normal, we need to be prepared for that activity.
The first early predictions for the 2019 Atlantic hurricane season has anywhere from 13 to 16 named storms. It is also predicted that 2 to 3 of the storms will become major hurricanes. While the 2018 storm season was relatively quiet, 2017 had 17 named storms brewing in the area, including the Atlantic, the Gulf of Mexico, and the Caribbean Sea. While there might be fewer chances for storms to inflict the devastation that Irma caused in 2017, the hurricanes that are formed could be just as dangerous, says Green.
If that happens, we want to be prepared that any of those storms could affect us because we don't know which one is going to really come our way. We need to be prepared for all of them.
And Green says if there is any doubt as to why residents should prepare themselves now, he points to that tropical disturbance that hovered over the Bahamas last week.
We have to be careful and be prepared for the hurricane season as they develop a lot sooner.
Reporting for our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
All right, thanks a lot, Jasmine. Well, the Carnival Band Owners Association is responding to comments by Bishop Simeon Hall, the former Christian Council president, who said that Carnival should be a private matter and that organizers consider renting some place private like the National Stadium, so those who aren't interested have a choice not to see it.
So this is a street festival. Carnival is a street festival, the greatest street festival. Jumping is a street parade. And so being confined doesn't lend to the spirit of the people. We are Afrocentric, it's the Bahamas, and we love a good march like everybody else, whether it's a funeral march, large march. This is a festival march. And so being confined doesn't help. Look at the spectators. Families are out here. We have vendors outside selling their wares. Tons of money is going to make today.
Just last week, the Christian Council reaffirmed its stance against Bahamas Carnival. In a statement, Council President Bishop Delton Fernandez said the near-naked bodies of men and women who will engage in sexual contact with access to alcohol during the Bahamas Carnival Experience Road March has the potential to lead to sexual violence, rape, and other violent confrontation.
Everyone is entitled to their opinion, obviously, and so, I respect our clergy in the Bahamas, and so, it's for them to actually speak up and say what their convictions are and what they believe, and so, I can't fault them for speaking up.
Still ahead tonight, a reformed prisoner tells his story. That's coming up when our News, the Weekend Edition, returns.